Hey everybody, how you doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to pop in really quickly and say hello to you. I hope you guys are having a good night. I wanted to give you some information about the economy. A lot of you have been asking me whether or not a recession is coming, and I'm going to tell you there is a debate going on as to whether or not Trump's policies, particularly with the tariffs and the uncertainty that he's creating, can cause issues. I think that the concern is warranted, and I'm going to just sort of give you guys an overview and kind of let you know what I'm seeing on the horizon. First thing I want to say is if you could, as you come in, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I also want to remind you that this podcast is on Spotify. So if you go to Spotify, look up my name, Boyce Watkins, or Dr. Boyce. You will find a couple of podcasts I have on Spotify, and I'm into economics and black wealth and all that good stuff. So anyway, hello. Kevin says I'm just going to start living in my truck. I think that's hilarious. If it's not true, if it's true, then my heart goes out to you, man. Anyway, they went up $100 on your rent, man. I'm so sorry about that, brother. I hate hearing that. So let me tell you what's going on with the economy. Give me a yes or no. Let's start with a quick vote. How many of you think that we're going to have a recession later this year or next year? Give me a yes if you think that we're going to have a recession in 2025 or 2026. Give me a no if you think that it's much ado about nothing. What do y'all think? Do you think we're going to have a recession or not? What do you think? Okay, Rich says yes. Jolie says yes. Patricia says yes. Big BB says yes. Okay, I see a lot of yeses. Afia said hell yeah. Okay, so that's a strong yes. Kashif Thomas, I see you. D.A. Seymour, Kevin J. Okay, hell to the yeah, says Kevin. Hey, Teresa and Derek. Okay, everybody saying yes. I see Alejandrina Eduardo. She's an optimist. She said no. Okay, that's good. That's good because it's actually correct. If you are saying yes or no, you have arguments on both sides. There are people that believe that the economy is resilient, corporate earnings are strong, and that there won't be a recession. But then there are estimates who are saying that there's a 33% chance. I think that was the last update I heard from Morgan Stanley, that there's a 33% chance of a recession. I'm going to go ahead and step out and say I think that those numbers are wrong. I think that they're underestimating the probability of a recession. I think that there will be one unless you see a dramatic shift in the economic policies of the Trump administration. Now, what I'm going to do is give you three reasons why I believe there's a recession, and then also I'm going to give you some stocks that I think you can look at or you should consider taking a look at that will that have been known to withstand recession. So how about that? I hope that that's okay. So I'll give you that toward the end. So stick around to the end of the video. Won't take long to do this. So the first reason that there's a recession predicted is that the yield curve is inverted. Now, what is the yield curve? The yield curve is like this curve that shows you interest rates on bonds for various maturities. So typically the yield curve looks like this. Shorter term bonds have lower interest rates. Longer term bonds have higher interest rates because you're locking your money up longer. Well, that yield curve is starting to kind of dip a little bit. And a lot of that is because there are people that are sort of adding to the self-fulfilling prophecy that a recession is coming by pouring their money into bonds. Bonds are kind of a safe haven, a softer asset that protects your portfolio in the event that the market crashes. In general, the stock market tends to go down. The S&P 500 tends to go down about 32% during a recession. This has been true since World War II. And so a lot of people are kind of preparing for this. And there's a lot of other data out there that's indicating that things are slowing down. Consumers are less confident. They are starting to spend less. And this is affecting his CEO behavior. Trump is adding to it right now. I know some of y'all think I'm a Trump supporter. Some of you think I'm a Biden supporter. And I'm going to just tell you right now, I'm going to disappoint everybody. If you think I'm a Trump supporter, I'm going to disappoint you. If you think I'm a Biden supporter, I'm going to disappoint you because I didn't vote for either one of them suckers in the last election. I don't care what you think about it. It's my vote. I'm going to do what I want with it. But here's the deal. Trump's policy on tariffs is not just bad because tariffs lead to trade wars, which can be bad for economic connections. And he's really undermining a trust level and a respect level for the American economy that has been built over an 80-year period. He's really going in with like a bull in a china shop, and it's causing a lot of problems. But the biggest sin of all this is the uncertainty. It's the fact that he's not being consistent about anything right now. He's just throwing things around like, oh, I might do this and I might do that. That works good for business negotiations, but it doesn't work good for international trade because A lot of investing is done based on expectations. It's done based on trust. It's done based on a belief that things are going to be relatively smooth over time. So you end up putting more money out if you know that the conditions are not going to be suddenly shaken up. For example, in countries where the government may decide out of the blue to take over your factories, companies don't invest in countries like that because they're like, we're not going to put $1 billion into a factory in your country and then have you just come and take our factory, right? So countries like that don't get investment. So the rule of law and various forms of consistency go a long way in economics, whether you're Democrat or Republican. This is just a fact. And he's really kind of not respecting that right now. He's mentioned April 2nd is kind of a day where he's going to make a bunch of announcements. That day is going to be a big day in terms of what your stocks do. If the announcements are softer than expected, then you could see a rally in stocks that day. If the announcements are harsh and ugly and uncertain, then you're going to see a drop, right? So you have to be ready for all this. So the second reason that there are experts who predict a recession right now is that, sorry, let me hit a button. Sorry about that. The second thing that's kind of happening is that consumer delinquencies are rising. According to the New York Fed, credit card delinquencies just hit their highest rate since 2012, especially borrowers under the age of 40. Now, what that means is that if you're a millennial, my heart goes out to you because there's a good chance you're struggling financially. I wish I was your dad so I could have talked to you about economics for the last 25 years and maybe things would be different. But I'm not your dad. I think in our community we need more dads. Black fathers matter. Not that mothers don't do the same thing, but there's some things that daddies can do pretty well that I think we deserve to get credit for. Because right now you have a lot of people under 40 that are really struggling financially. And a lot of that is because they weren't prepared for this economy, but also the economy has shifted on them. So credit card delinquencies are rising, showing that the consumers are struggling. Third is that there's something called the ISM Manufacturing Index, and that's been below 50 for 15 straight months, which signals a contraction. So basically, when that index stays low for a long period of time, the recession is coming, right? And so basically, this reduction in manufacturing, the inverted yield curve, struggling consumers are all indicators that that the recession could be around the corners. Now, is this a fact? Is this for certain? No, it's not. But honestly, I'm going to tell you, my spidey senses are telling me that this is real. I really just haven't. My gut instinct is telling me we are going to go into a recession. But not only could we have a recession, we may have stagflation. If we have stagflation, that's going to be like an economic hell. And so ultimately, I really hope that this does not happen because it's going to be really hard to work our way out of stagflation. Credit card delinquencies rose to 9.7% for 18 to 29-year-olds, which is the highest in over a decade. So even the people in their 20s are really struggling financially, but you didn't need me to tell you that. The Conference Board's LEI has declined for 22 straight months. This is the most persistent drop since the 2008 financial crisis. Corporate bankruptcies are going up. In 2023 and 2024, over 450 firms filed for bankruptcy, which is a 70% increase from 2022. And also real GDP growth keeps getting adjusted down. So GDP, gross domestic product, is expected to go up at a certain level. All the experts are reducing it every time Trump opens his mouth. They say, "Oh, it looks like we're going to make a little less money than we thought," because this man apparently hates money, or he hates American prosperity. He says he wants America to get rich again, but he actually wants America to be broke again, apparently, because some of the stuff he's doing isn't making sense in that way. And I say this as a person who is neutral about a lot of this. Like I got accused of being a Trump guy, but then I get accused of being a Biden guy, and I'm like, okay, I guess I must be doing my job because I have people getting mad at me on both sides. I'm not interested in being an extremist. I don't care about political symbolism. I don't care if you are mad because trans kids can play basketball or something. It's all about putting money in your pocket. I want you to be good economically. I want you to be in a good financial situation. I want your family to be secure. So if he was able to do that, I would give him credit for that. I would completely give him credit for that. But he's not. He's just not doing it. And then all these jobs they're cutting from the government, that's going to show up in the unemployment numbers. So, if he's not careful, he's at risk of being seen as the worst president in U.S. history, or in a very long time. Now, stagflation is basically a great question. Stagflation is basically where you have inflation and a slowing economy at the same time. So typically, when an economy slows down, it's deflationary, and at the cost of things goes down in a bad economy. But stagflation is where you have inflation and a slowing economy. So in a way, it's like when you have a deflating economy, what they do when you have a slowing economy, what they do is they kind of pump up the tires. They create inflation to boost the prices of things. And I know it sounds weird, but it's like putting air in your bike tire. You pump it up and then you can go a little bit faster because you got more air in your tire. But imagine if your car was slowing down and you're like, oh, my car's slowing down. It must be because I have a flat tire. But then imagine if your tires are completely full and they actually have too much air in them. They have too much air. So your car's already not going fast, and you know it's the tires, but they have too much air. So you literally have to let air out of the tires, which is only going to make the tires go slower, right? So you're like, what am I going to do? Like, do I put more air in the tires like I normally do, or do I take air out? But if I take air out, then it's going to go slower than it is. So stagflation is when you have it's like this. It's like think about it like this. This is a crazy, stupid example, but I'm going to throw it out there. Imagine you have the best sex in the world, the most amazing sex you've ever had in your life. It's just like rainbows, cloud nine, all the whole shebang, right? And then you get a disease, right? So you're like, man, this sucks. I had great sex, but I caught a disease. That's bad, right? So imagine if you caught a disease and the sex was bad. That's gonna make you feel even worse. That's like a double whammy, right? It's like either no sex and you stay clean, or a good sex and you get a disease. Imagine if you had bad sex and you got a disease. Well, that sucks. That's terrible, right? So basically, that's what this economy's done. Trump is giving the American economy a financial STD that it can't get rid of, and so if he's not careful, he can create one of the worst economic conditions that we've run into in a very long time. I got to check the records to see when's the last time we had stagflation, but it's been a while. And what's really kind of frustrating for people that know the economy is it's kind of like, dude, you just came in and you messed everything up. I get it if you want to shake things up a little bit, that makes sense. But everybody's warning this administration of the consequences of their behavior. So I'd be curious to know what their conversations are like behind closed doors, because I know they leaked a conversation about their war plans against the Houthi rebels or something, but they need to leak their plans about what they're going to do about this economy, because if they keep messing around, they're going to cause some serious problems. So if that financial STD analogy just made you a little bit sick and grossed you out, then I apologize, but that just came to mind, and I just thought it would be kind of a hilarious way to explain it. And I actually did talk about financial STDs in a book I wrote when I was on the faculty of Syracuse. It was called Financial Lovemaking. And in this book, I talk about that because people give each other financial STDs all the time. You marry somebody with a gambling addiction. You date some woman who's a gold digger who takes half your stuff. You get with somebody who has terrible spending habits. You marry somebody that's got a bunch of student loans and bad credit, right? So financial STDs are kind of a thing, and I have actually written about it. So if you want a free e-copy of that book, Financial Lovemaking, just go to boyceandalicia.com. You can get an e-copy for free, or you can get it off Amazon too, or drboycebooks.com, wherever you want to go. drboycebooks.com. There's a lot of stuff there, including my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. We have financial flashcards for kids. We have financial workbooks for your kids. So we believe in educating the whole family. I want to see Black folks, our people, become the smartest economic people on the earth. And that's my mission. That's my goal. And I believe we can get there. Now, to close down, if you have a question or two, pop the question in here. I promised you that I would mention a couple of stocks that I think would be worth looking at as you possibly go into this possible recession. And two stocks that come to mind are Coca-Cola and Procter & Gamble. Coca-Cola's ticker is KO, and Procter & Gamble's ticker is PG. And these are stocks that are what they call staples. Staples tend to do well during recessions. If you want to know how recessions impact the stock market, the average market decline during a recession since World War II is about 32%. And so that means a third. That's a lot. That means you have $1,000 invested. You're losing $333 of that on paper. But what do you do during a recession? Anybody know? Answer me in the chat. What do you do if the market dips and you got a good diversified portfolio? Do you freeze up and run away? Do you sell everything and just run for the hills? Say, what do you do? Answer in the chat. Somebody, because somebody who's been watching, answer me in the chat, please, because I need I need to know that y'all not going to do nothing crazy. You either hold or you buy. If you have a healthy portfolio, this is assuming a healthy portfolio. This is based on the research. This is based on 200 years of data that if you buy and hold or buy, one of those two, hold door in Game of Thrones, you got to hold the door. If you do that, then you get about 18 months and then everything goes away and everything goes back to its pre-recession level. And then a lot of money gets made on that dip. So again, not telling you what to do. I don't give investing advice. Maybe one day there will come a time where that approach does not work. But that day has not yet arrived. The day has not yet arrived. And the biggest thing that you cannot do is you can't let that door shut. You cannot walk out in the middle of a market dip because you're throwing money away. You're giving money away to the person who's going to buy your stock from you. So give me a yes in the chat if we can all agree that if it happens, we're going to be the hodlers. We're going to hold on for dear life, invest more if you can, keep it moving, stay sturdy, stay strong, stay focused. You cannot get scared if the market dips on you. And it may dip for a while. It may dip for a whole year. It may dip for 2 years. That's the thing. That's what makes it crazy. Right. And that whole time, if you want to know what I'm doing, I'm going to be in there buying. When everybody else is running, I will be buying. And then when suddenly everything pops back up and everyone's excited about how much money the stock market's making again, by that time I'll be selling. The smart money sells when everybody else is buying, and the smart money also buys when everybody else is selling. Never forget that. All right. Now, one more thing I want to mention is if you guys are interested in stock options, we have something called the Certified Options Investing Network, COIN, COIN. And that's 12 straight weeks where basically we start from the very beginning and we study stock options every week in a small group. It's about 40 students in there. That's the peak. I don't want too many people. And so if you're interested and you want to talk to someone about studying stock options with us, you can go to drboycecoin.com, drboycecoin.com. My name is spelled like Joyce with a B. So Dr. Boyce Coin, feel free to reach out. All right. Do you and your family ever get into arguments or have tensions on topics about the topic of money? Yeah. Oh yeah. Me and my wife are, we've been married. It'll be 4 years in May, and we've been really good friends for about 30 years. I met her in 1993. And I was her friend for a long time, and I liked being in the friend zone. It wasn't like I was put in the friend zone. I put myself in the friend zone because I don't even know if I wanted to meet my wife in my 20s or even my early 30s. That would have been too early for me. And so, long story short, we do have disagreements, and what holds our disagreement together is number one, she's she's trained very well in the art of therapy. She's a therapist, which means she's very good at conflict resolution. I've been trained because I learned from her on how to resolve conflicts. And then thirdly, we're friends. And so my advice to anybody who is thinking about getting married or having a long-term relationship is just expect that you're going to have problems. You're going to have disagreements. Ain't no relationship perfect. It's not whether you have problems or not. It's how you deal with them, how you handle them. So that's it. Learn those techniques, learn conflict resolution, and that'll make a big difference because you're going to have conflict with everybody. And it's just a matter of knowing how to handle it. And it's really good to resolve a conflict with someone else who knows how to resolve a conflict. What's not fun is to resolve a conflict with somebody who has all these trauma responses and they get mad and hurt and lash out and all these other things. That's not how grown-ups handle their relationships. And relationships are an important part of wealth. You don't want to try to do all this by yourself. Let's see. My apologies. I received your book with my flashcards. I'll be ordering the workbooks for my grandkids. Good for you, Karen. Yeah, grandmas are important. I mean, my grandma changed everything for me. Her name was Felicia Couch. And actually her maiden name was Felicia Taylor. And you know what's funny? My wife's maiden name was Alicia Taylor. So when I first met her, she told me her name was Alicia Taylor. I said, I got a grandma named Felicia Taylor. She said, where are you from? I said, I'm from Louisville. She said, I lived in Louisville. I said, really? And so it was just, and we were both Geminis. It was just awesome. It was like perfect. Like we'd known each other in another life or something. It was crazy. Well, if you don't have the dip, but want to hold them. Okay. What if you don't have the dip, but want to hold them? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I wish I could answer that question, but maybe it was misspoken or something like that. You thought I was from Chicago? No, I know Chicago. I've been in Chicago for a while, but I was actually born in Louisville, Kentucky. Shout out to the great Muhammad Ali. That is my city. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce on out. I just wanted to say hi to you guys. Is this a good time to sell my house? I haven't checked those numbers exactly yet. I don't know what the real estate numbers are. I don't think the Fed's going to lower interest rates. Uh, so I honestly think if you're going to sell, I guess the question is, what are you going to do with that money? Like, what's the next move? Because if you ever want to know the time to buy a house, the best time to buy a house is usually right now. Or in fact, the best time to buy a house is yesterday. The second best time is today. So because property values tend to go up. So I think it's a good time to buy a house. It's a good time to sell. I guess it depends on what you're selling into and what your next move is going to be. But real estate is just one of those asset classes that tends to go up in value over time as long as you buy in a good neighborhood and all that stuff. Got on my order material, seeking workbooks for children. Yeah, the workbooks for kids. If you go to financialworkbooks.com, you can take a look at our workbooks for kids. We cover every grade band. We spent 3 years making our financial workbooks for kids because I really my secret plan to take over the world is I want Black children to know advanced economic concepts at an early age. Because during my years on the faculty at Syracuse University, I taught a lot of different young people from different backgrounds, Asian, Jewish, whatever. And I saw what their families were doing. And one thing that their families aren't doing that our families could do that will put us just light years ahead is the same way we teach our kids how to play basketball and play football when they're little. We should teach them how to play economics, how to play the game of money. Because money matters. Money's important, and I think that if you teach them all the different ways to make money while they're young, they won't have to do desperate things to make money when they get older, or degrading things to make money when they get older. And so the financial workbooks are designed to fix that. With our financial workbooks, flashcards, all that. When you're done going through the material with your child or letting them go through it, just give them a few dollars to do it. It's going to make a massive difference in their life because these are concepts that most college educated adults don't even know. So the things that people are learning at 25 and 30 and 35, your kids will be learning at 5 and 10 years old. They're going to be so far ahead of everybody else because it will be instinctual to them. So feel free to go to financialworkbooks.com. You can take a look there. We have stuff for every grade, man, first through third, fourth and fifth, middle school, high school. The books cover investing, the stock market, and money in general. So we have a lot of workbooks, and I know you're going to like them. Let's see. My grandson's 8, and for the past 2 years, he has said he has $8 million in his jars. Good. Okay. So one day he will have $8 million. I'm telling you, you'd be amazed at how much of a difference it makes in the life of a child if they have somebody to just buy some stock for them when they're little. Yeah, I mean, if somebody had just bought like a couple $100 worth of Apple stock and Nike stock for you back in the 90s and did that every year consistently, a lot of you would have hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not be millionaires. If you just bought maybe $100 a week of Bitcoin, even in 2017, it would be, I think you'd have about $400,000 or something like that. If you started in like 2012 or 2013, you'd be a millionaire and maybe even a billionaire if you bought enough. So there's opportunity out here. And the big thing about investing that's interesting to me is that it's like a lot of times we'll look back. You ever have that feeling? Like, I want you to imagine this. Let's do it like a meditation exercise or a financial consciousness exercise. Think about things where you hear it and you say, dang, I wish I had done this back in 2015, right? Like if somebody says, if you started buying Apple stock in 2015, you'd have insane amounts of money right now, right? And then you're like, damn, you have FOMO. You're like, man, I missed out. I should have bought the Apple stock. I wish I could go back in time, right? Well, I want you to think about it like this. You're gonna 5 years from now, you're gonna have some moment where you're gonna look at something you could have started doing in 2025 that you didn't do, and you're gonna be like, damn, I wish I had done this in 2025. Do you follow me? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I want you to think about this, like project 5 years in the future and just look back at yourself now and just know, because a lot of you were sitting here listening to me in 2019 and 2018 and stuff like that. There are a million things we could have been doing in 2018 that would have made us all rich today. A bunch of things. And it wasn't like this was hidden knowledge, right? We all knew about Apple. We knew about Bitcoin. We knew about a lot of stuff, right? So right now there is money walking right by you in broad daylight. So financial awareness and consciousness, the ability to hunt and observe and find the opportunities, is essential to being able to figure it out before it's too late. So it's like a game. It's like a puzzle. It's like, where's Waldo? Like, where's all the dough? Like, where's the money at? Right. So you're looking and you're like, okay, what is that big opportunity now, such that in 2030 or 2031, I'm going to look back and say, man, I wish I had done that in 2025. It's out there. It's there. It's somewhere around. So you're on a constant quest to figure that out. If you figure it out before other people do, that's how you get an economic advantage. That's how you win the game. So to win the game, look around, pay attention. Don't be out. A lot of folks out here sleep, and then they miss it, and they're like, dang, they tricked it at me again. The white people got the money. Could they white? No, a lot of white people didn't get the money either. It's the conscious people that got the money, the smart people, the people that paid attention, the people that prepare. They got the money. So be one of those people. That's what it ain't got nothing to do with race. All right. So let's see here. I have a 6 months no interest HELOC. Would you use a HELOC to trade stock options for 6 months and return the money and keep the profits? You could do that. People have done that. I don't give investing advice ever, but I wouldn't think you were crazy for doing that. People borrow money to make investments all the time. Elon Musk has I bet he has $40 billion in debt, right? So people take debt all the time to make investments, but you better be really careful and you better be prepared for what happens if things don't work out. That's all I would definitely say. I wouldn't go borrow a bunch of money to go buy lottery tickets and trips to the casino. But, if you know stock options really well and like I know some students in our stock options income class who've used HELOCs to generate a really nice income. Because the thing about money, here's the secret of making money. I'm gonna share this and then I'm gonna go ahead and close it up because I'm getting a little tired for today. One secret of making money is that working is a really hard way to make money. It's really hard to make a lot of money working because your body gets tired. It's tough. So what really is supposed to happen is your money works for you. But in order for your money to work for you, you have to have a lot of employees on staff. The more money you have, the more capital you have access to, the easier it is for you to have that money work for you. You have more little dollar bills. They're like your little slaves. You're like, okay, you go over here and you go over here and you go work over here, right? You go work in this industry, you work in oil, you work in banking, and all y'all come back with friends, right? And so here's the thing about capital that's important to understand, though, is that the number one driver of who has income and who does not really comes down to who controls capital. Do you understand? The people that control capital are the ones who get money. For example, if somebody just let you hold $1 million, I could show you how to take that $1 million and generate enough income that you could quit your job for the rest of your life. Very easy to do. Very easy to do. What's hard is getting the capital, getting the $1 million. But the thing about capital is you think about capital like a car. If I need a ride and I know a car can give me a ride, do I have to be the owner of that car for me to drive it? Yes or no? Does it have to be my car? Do I have to save up and actually buy a car in order to have a car? Yes or no? If I just need a ride, I don't need to own the car. I don't need to buy it, and I don't need to own it. I don't even need to have my name on the registration. Really, I mean, yeah, I could do three things. I could either save up my money and save up. Let's say I want a $12,000 car. I could save up $12,000 and buy a car, own it all outright. Or two, I could go to a car dealership who will give me the car, and I'll owe a debt, and my name will be on the registration. Or three, I could find somebody who's got a car, and I can borrow the car from that person, and maybe even pay them a rental fee to use their car. Right? I could go to Hertz or something, or my cousin down the street. So here's the point. Your capital is like your car. Capital is the key to wealth. Not just things like bachelor's degrees and stuff, but it's capital. Because the only reason a bachelor's degree gives you additional income is because that is a form of capital. That is called human capital. If I have a degree, I have a skill, I have higher human capital. But the problem with human capital is it requires a human. And human beings are perishable. We get old, we get tired, we get gray hair, our muscles break down, like we get bad backs. We don't, you don't want to work until you die. So human capital is fine, but it's an inferior form of capital. The best type of capital is like financial capital or some sort of real capital that gives you a capital base that you're allowed to make money from or generate a resource from. Capital can be cash, it can be cows. I know somebody who is a multimillionaire because they have so many dang cows. It could be an apple tree. It could be chickens and pigs. It could be land. It could be whatever. So two things. Number one, the goal for your kids and the grandkids is getting them as quickly as possible to have a capital base. That's the first thing. And if you give them time, if you start early, then they're going to have plenty of capital when they get older, which means they'll make plenty of money. And working ain't got nothing to do with it. Degrees ain't got nothing to do with it. Just the ability to manage your capital. That's what's going to drive their ability to access income and manage their income. That's the first point I want to make. Second point I want to make is that in order to use capital to make income, you do not have to be the owner of that capital. You simply have to have access to it. Just like a car, just like driving a car. I don't really need to own the car that I'm driving. I just need something that's got four wheels on it that's going to get me to my destination. Okay. So if you don't have access, if you don't have capital yourself and you can get access to it, which might be the HELOC, or it might be because you maintained a good credit score. It might be because you got a cousin who's a saver and they've loaned you some money. Then that opens a pathway for you. That opens an opportunity for you to really achieve what I consider to be the real American dream. The real American dream is the ability to make money without working. That's the American dream to me. How to make money without working. If you can make money without breaking your back and getting up and going to a job every day, then you've achieved the American dream. Then the other piece of the American dream must be accompanied by some type of mental health work, because Americans, in every study out there now, the studies show that Americans are excellent as a country at making money, but we are incredibly unhappy. Our families are broken. We can't stay married. Kids out here run around crazy. Everybody's stressed out, lack of sleep, just all these dying from cancer every other day because we're eating poison food, just all kinds of those things, right? So remember that the money is part of it, but then the other parts of your mental and physical health should accompany that, so you can really achieve what I consider to be the real American dream. That is real American exceptionalism. That is real Black excellence. That is real Black excellence, not a rapper at an award show. That real Black excellence is a healthy, happy person who has enough financial security that they can live their best life. That's what real Black excellence looks like. It's when I can say I got $1 million in the bank and I'm smiling, and I'm really smiling because I'm really happy on the inside and the outside, and I'm making really good decisions with my life because I'm a healed and complete human being, which means I'm truly showing up as my best self, which is, to me, the greatest form of Black excellence that there is. Do you follow me? And this is important because literally I saw a video today. My friend Tierra Williams, she's she calls her little nickname online is Miss Black Hollywood. She sent me a video. Did y'all know this? That there was a member of 3-6 Mafia who literally confessed that he was worshiping the devil. Get it? 3-6 Mafia, 666. He literally said this I kid you not, in the video. It tripped me out. I couldn't believe it. He literally said that because he was mad at God, he said, my job was to get Black people to literally honor and worship 3-6s, 666. So we were called 3-6 Mafia. Did y'all and anybody else see that video? I'd never saw it. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. So you live in a society where you got crazy stuff like that going on. And so they're sprinkling just dysfunction on you everywhere you turn. And you're admiring people who have terrible lives. And money is the culprit, because you see them, that somebody pays them money to do all this stuff. And you think because they're rich, they're doing well. They're not doing well. When you're dying from a drug overdose, you ain't doing well. When your mental health is shot because you're scared of some Black person rolling up on you and shooting you in the head, your mental health, you're not doing well. So what makes you think you're doing well? Do you think money in the bank is an indicator that you're doing well? No, money matters for sure, but money is not the sole indicator of you truly living the American dream. So if you want to know what I really want, what I want for you, what I want to try to support you in your journey on, is I want you to really know what it feels like to be to be happy with your existence in every way, right? And that just requires some work. And this is why I'll go outside the lines a little bit. And I hope it's okay if I color outside the lines. My wife says I might be a little autistic. I'm going to own that as my superpower. But I color outside the lines a little bit because I'm like, no, 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 no. I've studied money enough to know that that can't be all that there is. But you got to get the money, because the money is the key to the power for sure. You don't have black power in America because you don't have black wealth. When you get black wealth, you'll have more black power. But then at that point, you got to be a whole person so you'll know what to do with the power when you get it. That's consciousness, people. That's what that is. Okay. All right. Thank you for listening. It was great talking to you all. I hope this conversation was beneficial to you. If you were not here when I mentioned the stock that I like earlier, the stocks I mentioned were Coca-Cola and Procter. Did I say Procter and Gamble? Was it Procter? Yeah, I think it was Procter and Gamble, or unless it was another one. Let's go with Procter and Gamble. I believe so. PG and KO, those are the staples, because I do believe that the recession is coming. I've looked at the data, and my assessment is that there will be a recession unless Trump dramatically changes his policies. Also, you may not know, but in the Black Business School, we do have a crypto club. They're meeting tonight, but we're going to meet again soon. So if you have an interest in anything we're doing related to crypto, just pull out your phone, text the word crypto to the phone number 87948. If you text crypto to 87948, we'll send you some information on that. Also, if you're interested in joining the next cohort of COIN, the Certified Options Investing Network, we meet every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, and we are covering stock options from A to Z. So if you want to get certified in the area of stock options, which I love stock options. I think it's a great skill to learn. Probably one of the most important skills, financial skills you can have. Feel free to go to drboycecoin.com, and you can talk to someone about joining the next cohort. So drboycecoin.com. All right. So have a good night, everybody. God bless you. And I'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.